is hard as a rock. You could probably fit 6 people in here.
The location is honestly prime. The view is complete garbage.
That is super rich.
I didn't really get any sleep.
We should all normalize soft breads.
This is the worst part of the Park Hyatt Toronto.
One of the best hotel restaurants that we've eaten.
It was better than I expected.
The Park Hyatt Toronto is Canada's only Park Hyatt hotel, and only one of 2 Hyatts in all of Canada with a Michelin key. So when we had a couple days to spend in Toronto this fall, we were excited to check out this hotel for ourselves. The Park Hyatt is located on Toronto's bustling Bloor Street, and the closest metro stations are Museum Station and St. George Station, which are both just a block away. From there, you can hop on either TTC line and get around easily within the city. The building was first constructed in 1936 as the Park Plaza Hotel, and it was purchased and rebranded as the Park Hyatt in 1999. It underwent significant renovations in 2017 and only reopened in 2021, so the rooms here are all fairly new. Walking into the lobby, you are greeted by a giant painting on the left, and to the right is a hallway to the front desk and concierge. There is also an ice bucket full of champagne next to the reception desk, although we did not partake. Because we had booked with Amex FHR, the hotel was nice enough to give us an upgrade from a 1-king bed to a 1-king deluxe. But as you'll see later in this video, that might not always be a good thing. Welcome to our room at the Park Hyatt Toronto. Let me give you a little tour. So we originally booked the 1-king room, and they have given us an upgrade to the 1-king deluxe. The difference which I will show you in a bit. But first of all, when you enter through this nice little entryway, first there's 2 little coat hangers here for your convenience, although we put our coats in the closet area. And then on my right is the bathroom. So if you follow me through this door, you'll see this honestly really beautiful bathroom. So behind me is obviously the sink. Unfortunately, it's not a double vanity, but it is pretty spacious. You've got your amenities, which is all lavabo. So a soap over there, a body lotion here, and then this little canister, which is full of some cotton swabs, shower caps, that kind of thing. And then underneath, on this side, we have an extra roll of toilet paper and a blow dryer. And on the other side are some extra towels. Behind me is this really nice shower. Obviously, it's a waterfall shower head, as you'd expect from a luxury hotel, and it's really quite spacious, which is really nice, especially in Toronto where space is at a premium.
How many people do you think Tim can fit here? I think maybe like 6.
Yes, I think Walk With Me Tim would say that you could probably fit 6 people in here. Maybe 8 if you really stack them like sardines. Can I also say a huge thank you for this ledge, which separates the shower so that the water doesn't get everywhere when you use it. I have no idea why this is not the standard design at all hotels. And over here is the toilet area. I do like that it's in its own little nook. There's a little bit of separation, although it's not a wholly separate room from the rest of the bathroom. But it's a pretty standard toilet, no bidet sadly. The toilet paper is pretty flimsy. It is 1 ply, I think, and it's pretty similar to like the Purell brand at Costco. I would give this 3 out of 5 stars. Come with me over here to our next stop, which is the mini bar station and coffee station. So on this area here, you've got a bunch of teacups, a coffee maker, or an espresso, I should say. These 2 bottles of water were with the room when we got here, but you can request complimentary bottles as needed. Over here on this top cupboard is a shelf of different alcohols. Everything in the mini bar and fridge here is all paid, so just keep that in mind before you open any bottles. Down here is a pretty well-stocked mini bar, but again, nothing is complimentary. And then this last compartment is a mini fridge full of more alcohol, but also some other beverages like pop. And then coming into this area, so first there's a full-length mirror opposite me, and then as you walk in over here, you're greeted with a closet. This closet has 2 compartments. So first is the area where you hang your clothes, and then there's also some shoe stuff and slippers. There's some extra storage over here. as well as shoehorn, laundry bag, extra robe, the usual. And then this mini closet holds your ironing board and iron. Now we get to the actual bedroom. This is a king-size bed. It looks really nice and cozy. I will do a bed test in a minute. On either side of the bed are identical nightstands. One holds a phone for calling the front desk or the concierge, and then the other side just holds a little clock, similar to the clock in the bathroom. On this side of the bed, there are light switch controls, so you can turn off all the lights with one button and turn all of them back on, and then you can do specific things like only control one side of the bed. Directly across the bed is this pretty decently sized TV. And this is actually a perfect viewing angle, so we're looking forward to kicking back later tonight and actually watching some proper TV. Also, this hotel actually does provide HDMI cables. So all you need to do is request this from the front desk. Under this little table is your safe, and below that is more storage. So the difference between the king room and the king deluxe is this little sofa area. Kinda is like a junior suite almost, whereas in the regular king room or the basic room, it will kind of stop here, so it would just be a bed. So the table is pretty standard. This chair doesn't look super comfy, but let me give it a try. Oh, it is hard as a rock. It's a decent size for getting some work done. I like this little mat they've got here. It's a perfect place to set down your computer and a mouse. It also comes with a notepad and pen, obviously, and then there's some information about the room and the city. Over here in the center, this coffee table, we were greeted with our welcome amenity. And also a letter over here addressed to Kevin, who booked this room. Oh wow, and it's handwritten.
That's funny.
Yeah, we always love a handwritten note. And last but not least, the huge window facing the living room has an excellent view, i.e. a black wall that separates the next building over. I don't know what is on the other side, but yeah, like this view is probably one of the saddest ever. But.
So we booked this hotel using American Express FHR. So with that, you get the room upgrade subject to availability. You also get guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkout, which is a really good benefit actually because it's guaranteed and it's not, subject to availability. And also, we also get free breakfast for 2 at the main restaurant. And then we also get the $100 property credit, which converts to 135 or 130 Canadian, which we'll be using today for dinner at Joni, which is their flagship restaurant at this property. Overall thoughts, I would say it's a little bit disappointing. Not because the hotel is bad, but I think we may have just gotten a bad room because one, the view is complete garbage, but also we're right next to the elevator and it's already kind of loud. So I don't want to even know what it feels like at night. We'll see. We'll report back tomorrow morning after we come back from breakfast and stuff to see how it goes. But that is definitely the low light so far, and especially at the prices that they're charging at the Park Hyatt Toronto. I think that it could be a little bit more improved, in my opinion. But again, there's not much you can do when it just comes to bad luck on room selection. So the rest of the room seems okay. The service has been decent, so that part has been meeting expectations. I look forward to seeing how the rest of the night goes at the restaurant, tomorrow's breakfast, as well as how being close to the elevator will actually impact my stay. So we paid $581 for this. So if you convert that to Canadian, it's whatever this number is right here. The only reason we booked this is because we have a $300 FHR credit on one of our American Express Biz Platinums. So that helped eat the cost a little bit. Plus, I've been a fan of Park Hyatts, even though I haven't stayed in that many. This is my second one. But nevertheless, I am a Park Hyatt fan. I don't even know why, because I haven't stayed there. So that's kind of why we chose to stay here. But maybe the rest of the night and the morning will redeem itself.
The Park Hyatt has an on-site restaurant called Joni, which is on the ground floor just to the left of the entrance. There is also a cocktail bar called the Writer's Room, which is on the 17th floor. We ate at Joni for our first night here. When we arrived at 6:15, there was a live band playing, and that's a pretty cool touch that I haven't seen at most hotels, although they were gone by 7. After we ordered, a server came over with a small complimentary plate of warm brioche bread, along with a sun-dried tomato honey butter. This was so good. The bread was so rich and soft, and I think we should all normalize soft breads at restaurants because soft bread is just better than crusty bread in my opinion. And the butter made it even better. Our entrees took a while to arrive. I timed it and it was close to 30 minutes.
I was only 8 for 15.
But in my opinion, it was worth the wait. The smell was tantalizing as soon as these plates hit the table. I got the black cod and Kevin got the steak frites. My black cod came with chorizo butter, cocoa beans, and broccoli. The cod was amazingly tender and the seared side was so smoky and good. The only miss on this plate was the broccoli for me because that sulfurous taste of the broccoli didn't really complement the other flavors. Kevin enjoyed his steak frites as well. He got them medium rare. They were a little bit on the dry side, but it was served with the horseradish sauce that made it really good. As you'll see on the restaurant's menus, Joni also prides itself on sourcing local and Canadian where possible. So with most of the dishes, the source of the ingredients are listed and all of them are sourced within Canada. The portion size was much bigger than we expected too. We were unexpectedly really full after just our mains, so we didn't even need to order anything else. I'm also thankful for the fact that the dishes were served hot but not scalding, because I couldn't wait even a minute before I took the first bite, and luckily I did not burn my tongue at all. Just returned from dinner at Joni, which was amazing, and now for dessert we're gonna enjoy the little welcome amenity from earlier.
Is this a cake?
It's so soft. I think it's
Looks
one
like
of
a
those
brownie?
eggless fudge cakes. Yeah. Oh, it's so soft. Like, look at it. Let's give it a bite. No, that is super rich. If you're a fan of dark chocolate, I think you will love this. But even me, as someone who hates dark chocolate, I think this is pretty good. It tastes a lot like a truffle, like you know the chocolate truffles, except much softer, but like just as rich and decadent and dense. Yeah, I'm a fan. So last night, the noise level from outside the room was super loud. Kevin is not the lightest sleeper, but he got woken up at around 5 just because of how much noise was going on outside. So for sure, these rooms are not very well soundproofed. I guess the recommendation is, if you do stay at this hotel, be sure to request a room that's far away from the elevators. What we did appreciate is that as soon as we brought up this problem to the front desk, they immediately offered to switch rooms, and now we were on a higher floor that's further away from the elevators. Although you can still hear stuff from outside, like I think this is just a soundproofing issue with the rooms because we can still hear noises that happen nearby. They're not as frequent because the elevators are where most of the noise disruptions happen. Honestly, it's pretty crazy to me that a luxury hotel like this, especially in the downtown of a major city, would overlook something like soundproofing. Maybe there's some kind of limitation with the age of this building, I'm not sure, but it is definitely a pretty poor experience to be woken up in the early morning by the sheer noise of other guests and housekeeping coming in and out of the hotel. But the Park Hyatt front desk did give us a box of truffles and whatever is in this, which is really nice and appreciated. And they also wrote a very thoughtful handwritten note to apologize for the issue.
Good morning.
Good morning!
So, last night was kind of a restless night because of the room that we were given. This is the worst part of the Park Hyatt Toronto, by far. It's frankly unacceptable that a Park Hyatt has these rooms at all to put guests in, because eventually there will be no rooms to move to and people are going to get forced to stay in these rooms, and that's completely not okay for a Park Hyatt. So we made that clear because I didn't really get any sleep. So I gave that feedback to the front desk, and the service recovery side on the Park Hyatt and the rest of the stay have been a positive. I understand that it's completely not the front desk's fault, but as a whole, a hotel like this shouldn't have those 4 rooms at all on each floor. And it's not down to the frontline staff to deal with the issues that arise from these rooms. So with that, like negativity out of the way, the rest of the stay have been great. The in-room amenities like the bed and the shower are very comfortable. The service has been pretty good as well for a North American standard hotel. I will say like some things are like a little bit old, like for example the writing desk and stuff like that, but the writing desk is at least functional, where like the chair and the table combo actually lets you get work done, which is not a given in all these hotels these days. But yeah, no, I think overall the rest of the stay has been either meeting expectations or exceeding expectations. So with that out of the way, we're gonna head down and go to Joni for our breakfast. So the breakfast is not a buffet style. You get to order a la carte, like a menu item off of the breakfast menu. As part of our FHR benefits, we were entitled to 1 entree, 1 hot drink, and 1 cold drink per person per day. Just to give you an idea of price, basically for breakfast, if you use your allotment of things, it's basically $100 for 2 people, is what it comes out to. I ordered the steak and eggs as well as a tropical smoothie. The tropical smoothie consists of tropical fruit, so like mangoes,
Passion fruit.
passion fruit. The tropical smoothie consists of pineapple, mangoes, banana, and chia. It was really good actually, and the steak and eggs was actually pretty phenomenal. Along with the steak and frites, I actually did enjoy the way that they cook their meats and steak. I would say the breakfast was slightly worse than dinner, but I think the dinner one was better because it had more jus, but also it had some horseradish to go with it, so it made the steak a little bit more flavorful. The eggs were really good as well on the breakfast dish, and the hash brown on the bottom was amazing. It's probably one of the best hash browns I've ever had. It's almost like a deep fried potato pancake instead of like a traditional hash brown.
I also tried their matcha latte, which was quite rich. The matcha flavor was strong and it was also really creamy and milky. I ordered the plant-based Western scrambler. This comes with plant-based sausage scrambled with just eggs, along with some peppers and onions. And it also comes with 4 slices of sourdough, which are paired with some butter and jam. Is it the best just egg scramble I've had? Probably not. I low-key prefer my own. Maybe I'm biased, but it was still really tasty, and the sourdough, although the crust completely destroyed the roof of my mouth, it was very good, and the sourdough taste was strong. Although the Park Hyatt doesn't have a pool, it does have the usual other amenities such as a spa and a gym. The gym is on the 5th floor, and it's a bit of an awkward layout because you can't reach it with the regular guest room elevators. You have to go down to the lobby, walk across past the restaurant, and then all the way at the other end of the hotel, there's a separate elevator that only takes you up to certain floors, such as floor 3, which is the ballroom, and floor 5, which is the gym. This gym shares a floor with the private residence, which of course we don't have access to. But once you get off the elevator, turn to your right and you will have to scan your key card to get access to the gym. This gym is pretty spacious for a hotel gym and it's really well stocked. There's some fresh apples, some towels. I think there were 2 different kinds of towels, and of course lots of chilled bottled water, and even some earbuds. There's a good selection of equipment and weights as well. There's also a free area for you to do like warm up, and there's even a little balcony at the far end. Another really cool thing about this gym that we haven't seen anywhere else is that not only does it have the 2 Peloton bikes, which are becoming more and more common, but it also has a Peloton row, which we have never seen at any other hotel before. We were really excited to see that and try it out. Now, Park Hyatt's spa is called the Stillwater Spa, and it's on the 1st floor. And the staff were really friendly and open to giving us a quick tour of the place. So first you have your sauna and steam room along with a locker room area. This part is free to access for all hotel guests, and you don't need to make any kind of appointment or let them know that you're coming beforehand. You just need to go down and it's free to use during their opening hours. There's also several different treatment rooms, which they will use if you've booked a treatment or a massage here. And then there's also this really luxurious waiting area where you can chill. There's some snacks and water, and just either wait before your massage or to relax before you go back to your room.
So for our last morning, we went down for breakfast one more time. This time I got the berry smoothie, and to switch it up from the steak eggs from the first morning, I got the creme brulee French toast. It was as rich as it sounds. It was a pretty thick piece of French toast with like a creme brulee crackle hard top on the middle, and then creme brulee custard in the middle, and it was swimming in like a dark maple syrup. So yeah, no, it was very good because you're ingesting basically 2,000 calories in like half a sandwich. And as someone who does enjoy French toast quite a bit, it's definitely something that I would try again.
On the second morning, I got the deep dish quiche. Now, when they say deep, they mean really deep because this was probably the tallest quiche I've ever seen. And it was also the tastiest. I was so impressed by this quiche. I'm not like a quiche connoisseur or anything, but I feel like I've had my fair share. And this one, like the texture was crazy. I didn't know a quiche could be so fluffy like that. The egg was so smooth, so tender, and like it didn't have any of that like scrambled egg texture. It was just very like silky feeling, and yeah, I'm very impressed by that quiche. But it was also so rich, I couldn't finish it. I think if you added maybe some chives or green onions to the mix, that would just take it to the next level. And that's it for our 2 days worth of breakfasts here at the Park Hyatt Toronto. The food here really went beyond our expectations. We've stayed at some other decently high-end hotels, and this was probably one of the best breakfasts we've had outside of Asia. The quality of the food was great. The portion sizes were substantial, even though we were limited to one item. Like, there's no need to get more than one. They're very filling. We were really satisfied, and we can be a bit picky sometimes. So really impressed with the breakfast. And dinner as well was really good. It's on the pricey end, but it's probably equivalent to what you'd expect to pay at any like fine dining, fancy kind of place. And I think the food was really, yeah, again, it exceeded our expectations for sure. And it's one of the best hotel restaurants that we've eaten at in North America.
So overall thoughts, other than the layout of those 4 rooms that are rates facing the elevator, I would recommend this hotel to you to stay at. The rates can go kind of crazy, but depending on seasonality, there are rates that are very reasonable. For an example, like I've seen rates of the Park Hyatt Toronto go for 1,000 plus a night, which definitely don't do that. But there's also days that are perfectly bookable that are like $350, $400 US. And I think at that price, if you're a globalist or if you can use American Express $200 FHR credit, then it's 100% worth the stay. One thing we didn't mention that was a great amenity was that they had a house car. So the house car is pretty in demand because I think there's only one, but it's a Tesla Model X. It's very comfortable. You can book it in advance just texting the front desk, and they'll come pick you up. The driver will also text you. So like, you know, in Toronto, depending on where you are, it can be kind of hectic to find. So like they'll text you and they can call you if you really don't know where he is. It's a complimentary ride for hotel guests within a 5 kilometer radius of the hotel. So what does that mean? Well, that gets you Union Station, no problem. So I think that's probably the most frequent request. So Union Station to here or back, or CN Tower, that area is perfectly within range. So it's a perfect use for that. If you have luggage or you have suitcases or if you're traveling with children, that's fine. The location is fantastic. It's right across from ROM, right next to U of T, but also kind of close to Bloor Yonge and Yorkville. And it's right on the subway line for both line 1 and 2 because it's at St. George. So the location is honestly prime. We're quite happy and quite pleasantly surprised really for this stay despite the room issues, and we would actually come back. Let us know if you stay here. Let us know if you have any thoughts about this hotel if you have been here. Hopefully you found this overview and our experience entertaining but also helpful. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next hotel or airline review.
Bye.